Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Buenas tardes. Thank you all for being here. And I'm so excited to be with my colleagues here today. Together, we have taken this historic step to bring Congress as close to meaningful immigration reform as ever before. And I think what's interesting about what we've done, and I give our colleague from California, Jeff Denham, great credit because he is the author of this resolution, is that the member-driven process that we have started today is one that does not seek to accumulate power. It does not seek to impose any one solution. On the contrary, it seeks to diffuse power, and in doing so, to empower every member of the House so that they can play a meaningful role in this process. No matter what your immigration priorities are, this process that we have begun today and that we hope will conclude successfully will give every member of the House the opportunity to advance his or her solution on this issue. And it will give the House the opportunity to answer the President's call to action in the fall of last year when he asked the House to find a compromise on immigration that includes a DACA solution, includes border security, and all the other elements that we are familiar with. So where we are today, the White House has put out the framework of a compromise. The Senate has had a debate that unfortunately was not conclusive, and the House has not yet acted. And what we want to do is change that, is make sure that the House takes up immigration reform in a meaningful way, in a thoughtful way, where every member has the opportunity to participate, including the Speaker of the House, who under this rule would have the opportunity to craft a solution that he thinks would be the best one or the most likely to pass. So very grateful to all my colleagues. I think it is a wonderful day for this institution. And now I want to introduce the author of this resolution that will empower House members to take meaningful action on immigration, our colleague from California, Jeff Denham.
Thank you. Today was important for us to sign a discharge petition, which actually allows the debate to move forward. It is time for Republicans and Democrats to come together on what can be a bipartisan solution, but we have to first have the debate. This will force the debate. We want to empower leadership to make sure that they've got the ability to bring a bill to the floor, but ultimately we want to come together for an American solution that can not only pass the House, but also pass the Senate and get supported by the President. We feel very importantly that this has got to happen now, and we're willing to drive that vote. Next is Mr. Valadeo from California.
Well, it's simple. The House wants to do its job, and a lot of us have been talking about it for a long time, and this actually forces us and gives us the opportunity to do our job. Have the debate on the House floor. The American people can watch and play a role in it by talking to their members of Congress, and at the end of the day, we'll have the vote we want. The hope is that we'll have a positive vote, and then it'll go on to the Senate, and we can see something move on to the President's desk. Ultimately, the goal is just simple. Let's do our job, have the debate, have a vote, and make a real impact for the people that we represent. So let's introduce Hurd from Texas, one of the original fighters.
As y'all know, I have more border than any member of Congress, 820 miles. Many of y'all have asked why this today. It's partly because we don't have operational control of our border. It's also because there's 1 million plus young men and women who don't have certainty. These are men and women that have contributed to our economy. They've contributed to our history. These are people that are Americans, and they need a permanent legislative fix. And today is an opportunity to have this broader debate on the floor of Congress. No matter what your ideological views on this topic are, everybody should have a debate. Let's do it here in the People's House, and let's do this before the summer is over. And I'm glad that there are an intrepid few that are willing to take this step to force this broader conversation. Yeah, and then I think Mario Diaz-Balart.
Thank you. I actually first want to thank my colleagues for this very bold move. Some of us have been working on this a long time. And there's no secret that we've come close a couple times, and then whether it was the Democratic leadership or the Republican leadership, they've not allowed a vote on the floor. This bold move will force a vote on the floor. And this is an issue that will not fix itself. This is an issue that requires a legislative solution. And so that's why I'm so grateful to my colleagues for bringing this forward. Very briefly, muy brevemente, este es un tema que hay que resolver. Este es un tema que hace muchos años muchos de nosotros hemos estado trabajando y hemos tenido ocasiones donde hemos estado muy cerca, pero el liderazgo o del liderazgo demócrata o el liderazgo republicano no nos han permitido traer la legislación al pleno de la Cámara. Yo estoy tan orgulloso de este grupo de colegas en este nuevo esfuerzo para forzar un voto en este tema tan importante en el pleno de la Cámara. Hay que resolver la situación del 1.8 millones de soñadores, de dreamers, que se merecen ya un estatus legal permanente en los Estados Unidos. Y si Dios quiere y podemos lograr esto, yo creo que también podríamos lograr mucho más en tratar con, obviamente, la frontera de los Estados Unidos, pero también con los 12 millones de indocumentados que también se merecen una solución permanente legislativa. Thank you. Mia Love.
Thank you all for being here today. Let me be very clear about what this is about for me and what this is about for my colleagues here. This is about doing our job. This is about making sure that we're not consolidating power in the White House, that we are following what Article 1 of the Constitution tells us to do, retaining the ability to legislate and retaining the power of the purse. Now, I'm going to be very clear about this. I'm going to make sure that my comments are very brief. If we are not allowed to bring bills to the floor, to debate the bills on the floor, then the people that have represented me, that have voted for me to represent them, will not have a voice on the House floor. And that's what this is about. This is about all of us elevating the people that have elected us to be here, elevating their voice on the floor. And if we're not doing that, then we're not doing our job. So that's what this is about. This is about us being able to take a vote on all of the bills. And that way, members of Congress can be held accountable for a yes or no vote. Thank you. And Ileana.
Well, in my 28 years in Congress, I'm an old hag. I've been around a long time. This has been the first time that I have signed a discharge petition while the Republican Party, my party, has been in control. But that tells you what a sense of urgency, what a sense of priority the Dreamers legislation has for all of us, and for me especially. I was born in Cuba. As you know, I came to the United States when I was 8 years old. I was not a dreamer. We had a special status. But because I came from another country and because I made the United States my home, I understand what it's like for dreamers to be in limbo, because were it not for help that we were given as Cuban refugees, I would have been a dreamer too, and I would have had to live from court decision to court decision. That is no way to live. So I congratulate the political courage of especially Curbelo and Denham. I gotta congratulate them for something, so might as well be for that. But they are real fighters, and they've been there through thick and thin. And I'm disappointed we haven't had a vote, but with this process, we're not gonna have just one or two. We're gonna have 4 votes. Choose the best plan, and we're going to get this done for the Dreamers. Yo he estado aquí en el Congreso más años que ustedes han estado aquí en este planeta, 28 años. Y hoy por primera vez firmé esta petición cuando mi partido, el Partido Republicano, ha estado en control de la Cámara. Pero eso dice mucho de dónde está mi corazón, dónde están mis prioridades. Y quisiera felicitar especialmente al Curbelo, a Hurd, a Denham, a todos estos luchadores, a todos mis colegas, pero especialmente ellos, porque han tenido la valentía de presentar este proyecto donde nos van a dar la oportunidad de votar 1, 2, 3, 4 proyectos distintos en la Cámara. Yo nací en Cuba, vine aquí, yo no fui soñadora porque tuvimos un estatus especial, pero yo pienso, ay Dios mío, si hubiéramos llegado nosotros y no hubiéramos tenido esta ayuda, hubiera estado yo esperando de una decisión y otra decisión. Eso no es una vida normal y corriente. Vamos a ayudar a los Dreamers. Qué pena que no hemos tenido un voto, pero lo vamos a tener si conseguimos los republicanos con valentía, igual que mis colegas acá. Muchas gracias. Yes, John Faso.
Well, thank you, Ileana. Ileana's here for many terms, and I'm here for 17 months. And I can tell you, the people of upstate New York expect us to solve problems and to get things done. And the time for action is now. They want us to solve the DACA problem. They want us to solve the border security problem. I want us to solve the need for agricultural workers in upstate New York, because without fixing this system, we will not have people to pick the apples and harvest the crops and milk the cows. And so it's vitally important that Congress act. There are people on the right that would prefer not to do anything, and there are people on the left that would prefer not to do anything. Most Americans want us to fix this problem. That's what this group is here for. That's why I got elected to Congress. I'm here to fix problems. That's why we need a vote on these issues. Thank you so much.
A couple words in Spanish, and then we'll do a quick round of questions. Quiero agradecerle a todos mis colegas que están aquí el liderazgo que han demostrado. Lamentablemente, a través de los años, el tema de la inmigración ha sido algo que ha paralizado al Congreso. Cuando el Partido Demócrata tuvo control absoluto del Congreso, no hizo absolutamente nada. En años más recientes ha sido el liderazgo republicano en la Cámara el que ha bloqueado la posibilidad de lograr una solución en el tema de la inmigración. Así que estamos unidos aquí hoy porque queremos que esta institución que representa al pueblo de Estados Unidos actúe sobre el tema de la inmigración, que esta institución actúe de la manera que la Casa Blanca pidió, porque la Casa Blanca pidió explícitamente el año pasado que el Congreso buscara un acuerdo sobre el tema de la inmigración para ayudar a los jóvenes soñadores y también para asegurar la frontera de Estados Unidos. Así que hoy hemos iniciado este proceso, un proceso histórico, que ojalá le ofrezca a cada miembro de la Cámara, no obstante sus ideas en cuanto a este tema, la posibilidad de presentar su proyecto de ley, tener un debate y luego hacer 4 votos, como dijo la congresista Ross Lettinen. We'll take some questions now. Yeah, we'll start here and go to the right.
So if you have all participation by Democrats and you need at least 26 with Charlie Dent Republicans to sign on, do you believe you guys have that amount?
We feel very good today. We just filed this petition today, and last time I checked, we had 15 signers. I think that exceeds all of our expectations, so we think we're on our way.
Back at an April press conference, you guys said you had 50 Republicans who were supporting this measure. Why?
Well, you're probably referring to the actual rule itself. We've now moved into a different process. There are many Republicans that support the rule, the debate that we have proposed. Signing a discharge petition, we'll see how many. We think we can get there, yes.
Leadership has made clear that they don't support this approach. What is what's your defense for doing this, and what are they pushing back?
And leadership, no matter the party, is never going to support a discharge petition. But our message to our leaders has been very clear. We truly believe that this process actually empowers them because it allows every member to have a role in the immigration debate. And importantly, I think this is a very unique discharge petition process in that it is deferential to the leadership because it offers the speaker an opportunity to craft a solution that he thinks makes most sense in this case. Yes, if anyone wants to jump in, please.
You discussed this with the speaker in particular a couple of times at least, and what did you say to him most recently when you decided that this was the day that you were going to be?
We've told him what we're telling you here today, that we believe this institution needs to act. Immigration has paralyzed this institution for too long, and that we don't view this as in any way undermining House leaders. On the contrary, we feel that we're also empowering them to deal with a very controversial issue. Yes?
Let me just address both of these questions real quick. First of all, we've been very transparent with leadership of both parties on what we're doing, what our goals are, and to empower both parties to bring this up for a full debate. We initially did a rule which had over 50 Republican co-authors. The intent of the rule is to empower the Speaker and show the President that there is support to bring up a debate here. Discharge is the next position on that. So we've done many rules in the past. Discharge is like the XM Bank. We saw that on the Farm Bill. We've seen it on the Freedom Caucus had done one. The rule is more something that would help to push up a debate like we saw with Queen of the Hill on the budgets. So we're pushing two different procedures that allow us to empower the House.
So let's say this goes to an open debate. Does it not seem most likely that the Goodlatte bill would be the one that would pass, which is completely unworkable in the Senate?
We believe that there's going to be opportunities for members of all the different caucuses on the left and the right to vote on the bills that they think are important. But the important thing is to have a full debate here.
You've said you've been very transparent with leadership. Do you feel they've been very transparent with you and with the way they've whipped against this, especially today against the discharge?
I would just say that this has been a member-driven movement, just as the Speaker had asked for when he was first elected. This is hundreds of conversations by all of my colleagues on both sides of the aisle to have a full discussion and debate. And, you know, by today's numbers, we're getting a lot of support. Let me go over here first.
Yeah. You're at 15, you need to get to 26. How are you going to get there?
We've moved very quickly in a few minutes. We expect to continue to work over the next vote series and tomorrow, and we're getting a lot of support.
How within your own party are you going to work to bring members on board with this petition?
It's happening very quick right now.
And I would say the key there is every member should be for this discharge petition and for this process. I mean, Chairman Goodlatte, who has proposed one of the bills, I think this is the only way that bill can come to the floor for a vote. So that's the message we're taking to everyone, and I think that's quite frankly, the genius in the way this was designed, where this is not, the objective here is to have a debate and to have votes. We cannot predetermine the outcome. Of course, we will each fight for our own position and for the bill or the bills that we think are best, but this is the best chance any of these bills have of coming to the floor.
It's the first time Denham has ever been called a genius. Who reported that?
The Speaker's office says that there's no urgency to really deal with the DACA issue yet because the courts are still going to be dealing with this for the rest of the year. Are you seeing that from other colleagues hesitant to sign on to the discharge petition?
This should have been resolved years ago, if not decades ago. Look, the President gave us a March 5th deadline, and Congress failed to act. It is our job here to show the will of the House, the people's House, and have a full debate and come up with an American solution.
Let me add on that one. Talk to anybody who is a DACA recipient about whether there is some criticality of getting this done now. The uncertainty that the debate up here or the lack of debate up here has created, the uncertainty that has been created in the courts. So yeah, we should move. And also, there's $66 billion worth of drugs coming into this country, and we need to make sure that we have operational control of our border. And at least the USA Act, the bill that Pete Aguilar from California and I have authored, is strong border security and brings a permanent legislative fix for DACA recipients.
Can I ask, do you have assurances from Democrats that all of them are going to be right there, like you say, to this discharge petition? And then secondly, in terms of timing and process, when you think you guys get to 18, and then after that, are you planning to file it right away? How does it work from there? I'm just curious, does it take a little bit of time to mature? Can you say anything about that?
So under a discharge petition, they can be brought up the first and third Monday of every month. First and third Monday of every month.
Second and fourth.
So the next opportunity would have been June 11th, which has now been pulled back. After that would be June 25th and then July 16th.
Is it first and third or second and fourth weeks?
First and third. Staff is wrong on that one.
He's a genius.
Can you clarify on the numbers, where this 26 number is coming from? I mean, there are a lot of vacancies in the House right now, so the current simple majority is 215. With Dent leaving, I think that might
218. You need 218.
We need 218,
regardless,
and we are confident that we're going to get there.
So Speaker O'Ryan has said that he's still continuing to work on the Goodlatte bill, and I was wondering what his most recent communication has been to the whole conference about immigration. Is that a topic that he says he's still working on what would be considered a more conservative solution, or how does he describe this issue?
The Speaker has been very vocal that he is still working on the issue. You'd have to ask him what his timeline is.
You said you're really confident you timeline.
I mean, we are working in a bipartisan fashion. Our Democrat colleagues will be signing on board soon, but how soon we get to 218 is still a question.
Leaders also push back saying that they want to do an immigration bill that the White House will sign, and that they say that none of the options here are something the president is willing to sign.
The president has his own bill. The Speaker has a bill in this that he can introduce whatever he wants. I assume the Speaker is having those conversations with the White House on what they would accept. But ultimately, we have to pass something that's going to get 60 votes in the Senate as well. And so we're very cognizant of that as well.
May I say one more thing? I want to say one more thing about that because, again, I want to be very clear. I'm not abdicating my responsibilities to the White House. We want the White House to come up with their plans. We want the Senate to come up with their plans. But our job is to come up with our plans and to make sure that all of the bills that all of us have worked really hard on actually have a voice on the floor. This is about returning power back to people and making sure that people have a voice. So wherever any of us stand on any of the bills, to me, this is about making sure that we have a vote on the floor about any of these bills. And they'll pass on their merits or fail on their merits, and I'm okay with that. I'm willing to take that risk on any of that. And then it'll at least tell us where we are and we can start again from here. But not moving is not an option. So.
Yes, can you talk about which bills you favor and which you envision bringing up? I would imagine the DREAM Act, the USA Act, probably Goodlatte. What's the outlook, and is your group behind one bill?
That's premature.
It's premature. It's to bring up an entire debate on each of the different bills. I'm actually a co-author on the USA Act, but I know that there are members throughout our conference that have a different idea on what that should be, and we want to encourage all of them to sign on to this discharge so that we can force a full debate. And as well as my Democrat colleagues would also have different concerns with different bills, but also want the full debate.
You haven't said which of the four, what the four bills are?
Yes, it's defined in the rule what the four bills are. So it would be the Goodlatte bill, it would be up first. Second would be the DREAM Act, Roy Ball Allard's bill. The Speaker has his bill, and then the USA Act would be fourth.
Oh, okay.
Third is just a spot.
Thank you. I think someone else will be available to answer individual questions. Thank you.
Thank you.
Is the genius available?
Speaker.